If you use Flodesk to send emails or you've been curious about using Flodesk, then you probably are aware that you can create and use Flodesk templates and form templates. Now, at the moment, I'm working on some templates for Flodesk, and I thought rather than working on these things behind the scenes, I'd take you along with me and show you how I create these. Now, seeing how templates are made can be useful if you want to create your own templates for Flodesk, if you want to sell templates, or if you want to buy templates and just understand how to customize them. So come along and watch me design in Flodesk. Alright, so what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going to be making a Flodesk template, but I've already previously created templates in Canva and I want to do quite similar ones in Flodesk. So I'm going to reference what I created in Canva to give me some ideas of content, because a good thing to do when it comes to creating a template for Flodesk is first plan out what content you actually want in your email. That way you have an idea of what sections you need to add. So for this one, I'm going to be creating an invite for an event. So I need to basically have some sort of headline, the name of the event details with a button to register, a section about who it's for, a section on what is happening, a little bit of a blurb, plus a final link to register. So by referencing this template that I made in Canva, I've got a really good idea of the content I want to include. Now, you probably don't have some sort of design. If you want to, you could design, but obviously Flodesk has certain limitations, only certain types of layouts that you can create. And so it actually is best if you're just starting from scratch, just to write out the different sections that you want to include. So what kind of information do you want to include? Will that include some images? Will it include links, things like that? So you know what you're trying to build. All right, so in Flodesk, the first thing we're going to do is click New Email, and then you want to choose Start from Scratch. Now we're going to give it a name, and this is a template that I plan to share. So I want to call it Event Invite Template. Now you can create these templates for yourself, so you can create something that's branded for you that you can use again and again, or you can create templates that you sell, or if you intend to buy templates, just watching the way I work through this will help you better understand how you can customize a template and make it your own to suit your brand, because you can start to see how they work and the sort of things that you can do to adjust them and make them your own. All right, so it's come up with this. It's just got my logo, it's got some text, and it's got a button and the social media links. Now I'm going to get rid of the button because I want to put in my own later on. We can leave that text there because we might come back to it and use it somewhere else in the design. Now it will automatically put your logo in. So I'm going to leave this here as a template so whoever uses it can then have their own logo go in. But if this is your own, then you're going to want to switch it to your own logo, and that's going to show up on all your emails. Now the next thing we can decide is what color we want the background and what color we want the actual email body here, with the background color and canvas color. Now to get this up, you just need to click on the page on the background area, and that's going to bring this up. So I'm going to go back to this one to look for some colors. Now this color here we might use. So I'm going to grab that and come back in here. So basically when you click on the colors, it gives you some colors here. You can also add your own brand colors. So if you've got your brand colors and this is for your own email, then I would add them in. You can also add in hex codes here. So I can just paste that hex code in. Now actually I might use that one for the canvas. I might use a lighter color for the backdrop. So we can actually keep that one and just reduce it. So it's the same color but lighter. So as you can see, they've got some color choices there, but they are limited. So it's really handy being able to put that hex code in. And so you can use any other software like Canva or Photoshop or even online tools to find good hex codes. All right, so now we're going to think about what sections we want to add. So our first section was you're invited to this event. All right. So we might want some big text. So in layouts here, when you click layouts, we've got all these different types of layouts. Now these ones are images. So whatever you use when you create one of these layouts, it's going to be an image. So it can use text, yes, but the final thing when it sends to someone in an email is going to be an image. So if you want to make sure certain text is showing up as real text rather than an image, do keep that in mind. That anything that you choose in here is going to show up as an image. So we can use this one, which is going to allow us to use custom fonts. So anything that's real text like this, you have to basically use a web safe font. So as you can see here, it says only web safe fonts, and there's less fonts we can choose from. But anything that we want more beautiful and we want to choose more custom fonts, we're going to use an image. So this is what's really great about Flodesk, is it allows you to edit this text, edit these elements, but then it will do the work of turning into an image for you. So we're going to add our initial text of "you are invited." So we can choose our font. For my templates, I quite like working with FREEBIES Pro. There are heaps of beautiful fonts in here, so do play around. And if this is for your own brand, you can also bring in your own brand font. See, it's got here new font. You can upload your own fonts if this is something that you're doing for yourself rather than sharing. I like to use the fonts they've already got here for something that's a template, because there's no licensing issues with the fonts then, because it's already in Flodesk. But if it's for your own brand, of course, bring in your own brand fonts. Now the other thing we can do is change the size. You can slide it to change the size here. You can also change the color. So I might just go this slightly lighter so it's more of a dark gray. And make sure when you're creating a template or any design really for an email that you have consistency, and that's going to make the design feel cohesive and it's all part of one thing and not messy. So we're going to make sure that all our text now, from now on, we're going to use this color. And you also want to repeat the fonts too. So we'll just go make this one this color. And I might go Helvetica Light. So from now on, I want to be using the FREEBIES Pro Light and Helvetica Light. So really just limit it to 2 fonts and choose one text color. You may want to choose a secondary color that you use maybe for some headlines or highlighting things, but don't have too many don't mix too many colors. And also if you choose a black or a gray, stick to that same one. Don't have variations, because that's going to look messy. So if we had this one type of grey and that one another type and then something else another type, that's where it's going to start to look a mess. Alright, so our next bit is the actual name of the event. So we've used in that Canva one a photo with the name of the event. So let's see in layouts if there's anything that we could use like that. So we've got text here that sits over an image like that. We've got this one. So it's about thinking about what you're trying to achieve and what might work well. So this one, we've got text directly on an image, which might be more what we are after here. So for what I'm doing, I don't need a secondary text. I just want the one. So we can remove that. And we want to write the event name, so whoever's using this template can put in their own event name. Now the first thing I'm going to do is find an image and then decide based on the image I'm using whether a dark font or a light font is going to contrast that better. So I'm going to click on the image here, and if we're doing a template, the best thing is just to go into Unsplash and find some stock images. If this is for yourself, of course, you can upload your own images that you've got. Alright, so I've chosen my image, so it's going to upload that. And now if the image is bigger than that area, you can actually zoom and also move it around so we can position it to where we want it to sit. Now we want the event name to be readable, so we want to make sure that this is positioned in a way that we can read it. Otherwise, we also have overlay effects, so we can always add like a white overlay to just soften that image, and then that way we can read the name a bit easier. Now again, we want to make sure this is the same, so we had light before, and I think we want to make this bigger. Now this image I feel like has too much contrast, it makes it hard to read, so we might find something else. It's really important when it comes to putting text on an image that the image is low contrast, or you really bump up that overlay, so we could really bump that up. But I'd rather an image that you can see better, so I might choose a different image. So really consider your images when you're putting text on top. Alright, so now we've got an image where we've got plenty of white space there, so we can put text in where it's easy to read. So do think about your images when doing stuff like this. So now we've got you're invited, we've got the event. So the next section was the event details. So I'm just going to grab this text. Now we want text and we want a button. So we're looking for something like that. So let's go again into layouts and think about we want text and a button. So we've got something like this, but it's also got an image. Since we got an image above, I don't think we want a second image. We want to keep this just text based. This one's text, but we've got no button. Now, if we can't find anything that's perfect, we can just do some text and then add a button as two separate things. So I'm just first seeing what is available here and then how we could build it if we don't have what we want. So I've also got this one that's got text and it's got the button, but we've got an image and I don't want to use that. We could have done it where we stuck that in and put the event name, but we wouldn't be able to put the text on that. So it's really about thinking, what have they got here? What am I trying to achieve? So I don't think anything here is quite going to do what I'm after. So instead, what I'm going to do, let's remove that, is I'm going to stick my text in here. Now I'm going to add a spacer here, and I'm going to make it the same color as the background. That way it looks like this next section is separate. See how it looks like it's sort of separate from it? It's not joined there. And then we can also, when you click on one of these blocks, go to block and padding. You can also add some padding in. All right, so what did we need? So we needed that and a button. So then we can also plus again, and we want to choose button. So if we keep the background color the same, it makes it feel like it's the same thing. And we can just click on this one and duplicate, so it makes another one. Now we can click and drag to pull that down. And see, we put that under there now. So now it looks like it's a box. It looks like it's one thing, even though it's actually made up of two things. So using background colors can help make different blocks actually feel like they're joined together. All right, so let's work on our text. So I wanted it centered, so it looks like it's just sitting above that button, the button block. I think I want a bit of padding underneath it. Now I want to style this button. So I want it to have outlines. You can choose a full color or an outline. We can choose the color, so we're going to choose that same color we used for the text, so we're staying consistent there. And then I'm going to bump it down to just 1 pixel. And I'm going to click here on font and make sure that I'm choosing the same font. And we'll change that to register. So now we've got that text and our button. So we were able to build that ourselves just using text and button rather than a complete element. So our next section, so we want the who is it for? And a what is happening. So let's go back to layouts. Now we've got this one here, which could be good. Or we've got this style. This style might work because it's quite similar to what we had before, that sort of creates that feeling. Now we might change this background again so it feels like it's sort of hovering on the background. Like that. Now I don't want that bit, so if you go to block on this one, you can actually turn some things off. So for this one we don't need a button and we don't need that number, so we can turn them off. Now this, we don't want the border color. Now what do we want for this actual block here? So going back to this one, we had that darker color, so let's bring that in. This color, the canvas color, we're going to reuse that and put it in here. And now we've got that styled. Now we can add an image and style up the text a bit. All right, so this one we're writing who is it for. Now we don't want that third text for this particular one. So as you can see, you can remove certain elements too, so you can customize some of these blocks to turn them into what you're after. So this text here, we want to change the color. Now with these ones where you can see how the blue there, that all that text is in the one block, these ones you need to be careful because sometimes if you adjust things, it will try and adjust both the fonts, and make sure you've got it highlighted. See how once you make one change, it unhighlights it, so make sure for every single change you re-highlight it, or it will try to apply it to both that header and the actual text, so you need to be careful of that. Now we can change the line height here in spacing. All right, now the who is it for? We're going to change this font now. Again, making sure that it's highlighted every time. And now we're going to change the size. Now this one is often the trickiest. do make sure that it stays highlighted. If it becomes unhighlighted, that is when you need to just stop, re-highlight it to keep going. All right, so now we've got our who is it for. Now, another handy thing is if you're doing two sections that are similar, you don't want to have to restyle right from scratch, is you can hit duplicate. Now this one we want the same sort of thing, but we want to flip. So you can go to block and flip. All right, so we had the who is it for, and then what is happening. Now we can choose a new image, and as you can see here too, with things like this, we can choose the shape of the image too. So if we wanted to change things up, we can always change the image here. So you can also put in two images if we wanted, one long image, a square image. And that's another way you can make things feel different and make it interesting, is if you change up things like the shape. So we might make that one a square just to make it feel a little bit different. All right, so now we've got those sections. What was our last bit? So now we just needed to add a bit of text and our final click here to register. So we can again do a duplicate, so we can reuse this text, duplicate, and just click and drag and move that down. And that way we're not starting from scratch and we're keeping that same styling. So we've got a bit of text, we can remove this bit, change that text. Then a button again, so if we want, we can reuse this one. All right, now we've got our final text in there. Now we've got now I've also got our social media stuff here. Sometimes I like to add in Instagram, so we could do that. So what we do, you can have Instagram here where you automatically actually just bring in your Instagram. Something I like to do is to be more selective and curated about what it shows rather than just bringing in your latest feed. So you've got that one there you can use. But the way that I like to do it is go to image, choose here in the grid and aspect ratio, choose 4. So we've got 4 squares that go across, and you can make adjustments for that if you want. And then choose 4 different images that I would curate. So if it was my Instagram feed, I would go in and choose my best images to really show it off and entice someone. All right, so once we've got those images, the final thing we want to do is add a link so that people can actually get to your Instagram. So I add text here and just say follow at, and then add my handle. So then again, we want to make sure that the font fits. You can always add a bit of letter spacing for this one, because it's in all caps. Now to actually make a link, you can highlight it and then you choose this one here, link, and you'd actually add your Instagram link in there. Now I just want to add a bit more spacing here. So I'm going to click on that block, padding, just add a bit more space between that link and where the Instagram starts. And there we have it. So that is how I create a template. So there we go. That is our design, and it can be reused for any kind of event. So I can share this one, or if you did this for yourself, you can keep it in there and just duplicate it anytime you want to use it. So it automatically saves, so all we have to do is go straight back here to Flodesk, just click on the logo and you'll come back in and you'll see it there. Now if you want to share this with other people, you click on those 3 dots and share as template, and it's going to give you a link. You can also view it in browser if you want to just check it out, see how it actually looks. So here we can see how that looks. Of course, if this is your own template that you want to reuse, all you have to do is click duplicate. That way you've got that original and you can create a new one from that. So that's how I create templates using Flodesk. So I hope this got you inspired, and if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. And if you're interested in buying any of my Flodesk templates, you'll find the link to my shop in the description below as well. And of course, if you'd like to see more design tutorials, learn about branding and graphic design, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.